Historians do not agree. It has no racial history at all. None.
The place where we really started to come to understand the filibuster as we do today is really intimately connected with its use as an obstructive tool of civil rights legislation.
The filibuster was created in 1806 when senators eliminated a rule, unintentionally opening the door for unlimited debate.
There was not an immediate explosion of filibustering. That didn't happen until closer to the middle of the 19th century.
And after the Civil War, segregationists harnessed the power of the legislative tool.
There have been a lot of filibusters against civil rights, which had a huge effect upon the progress of civil rights in this country.
On August 28, 1957, a senator from South Carolina took to the Senate floor with one goal: preventing the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1957. Senator Strom Thurmond spoke for 24 hours and 18 minutes in what would become the longest speaking filibuster in Senate history. In 1964, Southern senators launched a record-breaking filibuster against the Civil Rights Act that lasted for 60 days. Neither of those attempts worked. But before that, the tool was used successfully to block anti-lynching legislation and deny Black people the right to vote.
The 1960 Civil Rights Bill, round-the-clock sessions, make them talk. And the Southerners, they were well organized. Two of us will speak for 8 hours, and then two more for the next 8 hours, and two more for the next 8 hours. There's a reason people stopped just waiting it out, and it's because it was a losing game.
From kind of the mid-'70s to today, we've seen it become increasingly routinized. Now, almost everything that comes to the floor in the Senate is subject to this 60-vote threshold.
Filibustering is an attempt to block or delay Senate action on a bill. It can be done by talking at length, presenting multiple procedural motions, among other things. Those in favor of the filibuster say that it encourages compromise on legislation and limits the power of the majority. Others say it gives a small minority too much power and encourages obstruction.
In the modern Senate, nobody ever has to speak for 24 hours. So it's really that there is an implied threat, and then the majority is trying to come up with 60 votes to end an unlimited debate that never actually begins.
The filibuster has been used more in the past decade than ever before, ramping up under Senate opposition to President Obama. Democrats also used it while Trump was president to block things like border wall funding and anti-abortion bills. But now, many Democrats worry the filibuster will be used to block legislation rooted in the same fights of the 50s and 60s.
If all this takes eliminating the filibuster, another Jim Crow relic, in order to secure the God-given rights of every American, then that's what we should do.
We must find a way to pass voting rights whether we get rid of the filibuster or not.
These talking points are an effort to use the terrible history of racism to justify a partisan power grab in the present.
Democrats, working to pass a slew of legislation, from voting rights to gun reform, say the filibuster must go. But Republicans say there will be hell to pay if it's eliminated.
Nobody serving in this chamber can even begin to imagine what a completely scorched earth Senate would look like.
To eliminate the filibuster outright, every single Democratic senator would have to vote in favor of the move. But not everyone is on board.
If you want to make it a little bit more painful, make him stand there and talk, I'm willing to look at any way we can, but I am not willing to take away the involvement of the minority.
Recently, President Biden has signaled an openness to this kind of reform.
It used to be you had to stand there and talk and talk and talk and talk until you collapsed. And guess what? People got tired of talking and tired of collapsing. Filibusters broke down, and we were able to break the filibuster, get a quorum, and vote. So I strongly support moving in that direction.
And if that doesn't work, Biden now says he's prepared to go further.
Well, we're ready to get a lot done. And if we have to, if there's complete lockdown and chaos as a consequence of the filibuster, then we'll have to go beyond what I'm talking about.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here, and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.